Good morning. Welcome to the Wednesday meditation once again. And if you go online to lectionary page 2020, you will go to a calendar there which will take you to July 22nd, where we are today. And you will find there that it is the feast day of St. Mary Magdalene. And we're going to be taking a little detour from the daily office readings, which is permitted in our Book of Common Prayer. We're going to do another little triptych of meditations this week with Mary Magdalene, next week with St. Martha, and the week after that, St. Ignatius of Loyola. So to find those, just go to that lectionary and you will see them there. So let us just settle in to the reading, a portion of the reading for St. Mary of Magdalene, John 22, 1-2, and verses 11 through 16. And as I read it, I invite you to just let those words run through you. See where your gaze might want to just stop and linger a bit. And we will do a little bit of a Lectio reading together. Early, on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed. She stood there weeping. As she wept, she looked into the tomb and saw two angels in white sitting where the body of Jesus had been lying. They said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." She turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not know it was him. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" Supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him, "Rabboni," which means teacher. In this Easter story, the tomb of death becomes the womb of life. And this is, as a matter of fact, the great paradox of our faith. In life, there is some death, and in death, there is always some new life. Every loss that we experience in our lives is a death of sorts, and on our COVID journey, we have all lost something. Perhaps it is a connection with others, and we are missing our friends, our family. Perhaps it's loss of a job, or even just simply the loss of the familiar rhythms of our lives that keep us going every day, that get us out of bed because those familiar rhythms tell us what's what with our life. Not to mention that so many have lost treasured loved ones. So we are in the midst of a whole world that is grieving. And like Mary Magdalene standing before the empty tomb, we grieve for our losses. And sometimes we grieve the way that she did it, giving ourselves over to the sadness and the weeping. But we really all grieve in our own ways. There are not any rules for this, and so we just notice how it is with us when we suffer loss. Some loss actually feels a bit like relief at times, and other loss can stir up an anger buried so deeply we really didn't even know it was there. Sometimes we can't find our way through the woods. That's what it feels like, that we are lost in the dark that is all around us. But here's the thing about being in the dark. Somehow, mysteriously, we can see things in the dark that we could never have seen in full sunlight. And we have to adjust to a different kind of vision because the way we see in the dark is the kind of seeing that comes right out of our heart. We see something that may be fleeting, ephemeral, and then it becomes radiant and a new light lights up our way. That way of seeing from the heart. Thank goodness we have spiritual practices that can help us when we find ourselves stumbling through the dark. The Ignatian exercises, this is one thing that I practice daily. The exercises have been with us, surviving intact in their original form for about 500 years. And I love the exercises so much because through them we learn to pray in so many different kinds of ways. And one of those ways is that we enter the gospel story through our creative imagination. We put our own lives, our own experiences right into the heart of that gospel story. And so it becomes alive for us in a personal kind of way. It's a great gift. So I invite you into a gospel contemplation, gospel meditation, where we will rely on our creative imagination. And we're going to do this in the form of a guided visual meditation. So I invite you to come along with me. Bring your own COVID journey with you as we travel together. And to prepare for this travel, I ask you to find a very comfortable position in your chair and simply relax all of your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Relax all of that and begin to lower your eyelids. And as you lower your eyelids, I invite you to see yourself walking down a road. Now, as you walk down your road, look down to see what kind of road you are on today. Perhaps it's a rocky road, a smooth road, sandy road, even a paved road. Feel the temperature in the air. Perhaps there's a slight breeze, or maybe it's really warm. And as you walk along, you notice, you look up ahead and there's a clearing. And as you walk up to that clearing, you see that there is a small cave right there, right in the pathway. And this small cave is carved out of rock. Look at the texture of the rock. Notice the color. Something about that rocky cave is calling to you, calling your name, bidding you to come closer. And so, curiously, you do feel compelled to walk up to it and get a little bit closer. And as you do, you catch an aroma of freshly turned dirt. Look down at the color of that dirt. Go ahead and get close enough to the cave and to the dirt to peer inside. And as you are peering inside with the aroma of the freshly turned dirt all around you, look in to see that the cave is empty. Just be there, peering into the cave for a moment. Allow the fragrance of the rock and the dirt to fill up your senses. And as that happens, allow whatever comes up for you to just come up. Perhaps thoughts, feelings, images, memories. Perhaps something that has deeply troubled you in your COVID journey. Let it just come up and mix it in. Allow it to mix in with the dirt and to be there with the rock. And now you notice that behind you is a very soft shuffling sound, kind of a swishing sound. Sandals and fabric brushing through the air. And somehow instinctively, there is great comfort for you in that sound, even though you're not sure what it is. And then you turn. And you see someone there who is familiar, and yet you cannot quite make out who this is. But then as this person's eyes meet your eyes and hold your gaze, you see a gentle smile coming from him. You feel a welcoming presence. A delight comes over you like a ripple of soft breeze. And all of your troubles, all of your worries, all of your fears are just swept up in his presence. As this familiar stranger calls you by name, you know now. This is the gentle Jesus that is here to comfort you, to be present to you. And as you take some breaths, take some time to simply rest in his gaze upon your face. Know this for sure in your heart. Morning has broken.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rains do fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, strong in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation